Hello, and welcome to another episode of Around the Verse. I'm Sandy Gardner.
And I'm Josh Herman.
This week's episode features our Squadron 42 project update
and
for
welcome
February.
to another episode
We'll get a look
Around
at the
Verse.
complex
I'm
AI
Sandy Gardner.
systems being implemented in the game, using the massive crew of the Idris frigate as an example. But first, we'll get a check-in with the developer. We'll get a look at
That's right. Let's go to Phil Meller now for a rundown on what the Squadron 42 dev teams have been up to.
Hi everyone, I'm Phil Meller, lead designer of Squadron 42 with this month's project update. So I'll kick off with the techie stuff while you're all still fresh. So the programming team has been looking into issues that affect the performance of the game, looking into various ways we can optimize the code to make the game run better. The driving force behind this is to help speed things up for the PE release, but because we have a shared code base, it means that almost all those optimizations still often help S42 at the same time. For S42, the biggest wins were the animations and skeleton updates. Some of the best optimizations involve discovering where the code is updating items when it really doesn't need to. To help with our detective work, our lead animation programmer Ivo Herzog added some debug rendering that enabled us to more easily visualize objects in the world that were having their skeletons updated every frame. That enabled us to see what was being updated but not actually animating. The debug feature drew boxes around anything with a skeleton with different colors indicating different issues. This allowed the feature teams to put in changes that made the items a bit smarter about how they tell their system when their items need to get updated. We also put in additional debug information to show us when skeletons were getting updated but weren't even visible. Basically doing a lot of additional work that you'll never see. And gained from this information, the teams will be made aware of when this was happening and change the code to be more aggressive about when they need to update. The downside to this is that it can cause some knock-ons, especially when something off-screen does actually need to animate. But because you can't see it, it doesn't. It's not common, but these situations end up as a job for our QA team. Playing the levels and finding all the situations where the animations have broken and getting the teams to fix them up one by one. As always, we constantly look at old component updates and make them more bash-friendly, as well as weeding out the other sections of slow code and with a view to making them more efficient. We've also been working on object container streaming. The eventual aim for object container streaming is to allow us to seamlessly load and unload parts of the solar system as players move around. That will allow us to greatly increase the amount of content within the solar system without increasing memory or CPU usage, as only the parts that are relevant to you will be present in memory on your machine. Obviously, this all needs to occur without stalls or loading screens. The focus is currently on making the entity system code thread safe, so we can safely spawn entities, including creating components and loading resources such as geometry and textures from background threads. This is super important as it will remove the stalls that currently occur when entities spawn into the game. For example, when you currently request a vehicle spawn, at present we have over 450 individual entity component implementations